I told myself I would never quit my job until it felt like I was wasting my time being there and I could have made more money making videos. So I had a bet with a friend. One day I will be still serving here and I'll have a Lambo. If you can't make a good video on your own, you shouldn't be making videos.
Whew.
There's some people that make content to flex.
Yeah.
That's not me.
I know right now there's some controversy around every car influencer doing giveaways.
The Viper mogs almost any car, bro.
Unfortunately, you crashed a Lambo.
Yep.
That was like big news for everybody.
It was kind of crazy. It was like everywhere.
Welcome back to another episode of the Street Alpha Podcast. I'm your host, Tukes, and we are in West Palm Beach, Florida. Today, we have the pleasure of sitting with Jake Schnatter, and I had the pleasure of meeting this gentleman about a year ago at TX2K. I think we were all in the same house with Eli, M&M Events. Shout out to Eli.
Dan Rue.
Yeah, Dan Rue. Oh, I forgot Dan was there.
Yeah,
everybody. So it was actually like my first experience in like what felt like a LA kind of content house for the most part in Texas.
It was a little hectic.
Yeah. It was hectic. And honestly, at the time, from last year to now, I keep telling you, you've grown like a ton on social media.
Yeah.
So we'll talk about what like influenced the growth and how you were able to get from a year ago to now. And you definitely seem more like chill and reserved rather than last year. I feel like last year you were like a lot more energetic, and now you just seem more like calm, like more comfortable, you know?
Well, I think why that is a year ago, I was very consistent.
Yeah.
But I had this problem of like not knowing what to film. So I filmed everything.
Okay.
Now I'm like a lot more calm and confident with everything now because I know what I want to film and when to film it.
Okay.
So I feel less like anxious and needing to get everything, I guess. I think that's probably what you're seeing.
Okay.
Because now it's like, I'll wake up in the morning, I'm like, I got this video done, this video done, and this video done. Get them all knocked out, and then I get to spend time with my wife. So,
right.
Yeah.
So, like even here, we're at a place that has crazy cars, and in my head, you come in here, last year you'd probably be filming everything just because you're here, right?
Right. Yeah.
So now you're like, I'm like, what am I gonna do with this? Probably like, you know, where's this gonna? What's the purpose of the content?
Because everybody else has a phone, everybody else films the exact same cars, you know. So it's like, and I've also seen a lot of these cars.
Yeah.
So it's
different.
It's just different. It's a different world now. You know, It's like, I don't want to say like I'm used to it now, but I kind of know what I would like to put out there.
Okay.
So, I guess.
Yeah, that comes with experience and obviously doing it over and over.
It's still super sick to be in this room right now. There's a lot of cars I can't film or take pictures of, but like just seeing them and seeing like the designs and all the Aero and everything is super sick.
Multi-million dollar worth of cars.
Yeah, like I'm sitting right here and I'm looking at a good $30 million in cars. So
legit. We might have to get a shot of that, actually. Just like a little quick B-roll shot of that. So we'll get into your backstory in terms of how you got into cars, started YouTube, and then the growth as well, and then some things that you're going to be planning for the future as well.
Yeah.
But before we begin, I always like to introduce my guests by giving them a round of applause. So let's give a round of applause for Jake. Live. We have like a live audience. We got Finding Nick looking at me right now. He's next. You next, boy. All right. So in the early days, before you obviously started YouTube, you were, from what I learned, is a hard worker, right?
Yep.
You're working 3 jobs. I think it was like a theme park.
Yeah, that was my
pizza deliveries.
That was my very first job on paper.
Okay.
So yeah.
The theme park one.
The theme park, yeah.
Okay. So what inspired you to kind of make a shift from working a job to wanting to start a YouTube channel and have, cars involved?
Honestly, I never started because I wanted to make money.
Okay.
I first started out with an Audi A6.
Okay.
And then it was like a C6. It was I think it's the generation like the C6, and it's 3.0 T, so it's supercharged.
Yeah.
But it was like the mom car version of like the sporty S4. So like there wasn't a lot of parts to like modify them with and everything like that. And when I picked that car up, I just tore my meniscus because I did track in high school.
Oh, you were a track star.
Yeah. A lot of people say I stand funny in pictures, and it's because I can't stand for a long time on this leg or else I'll start locking up.
Oh, it's that bad?
It's not bad. It's just like, it's also like an inherent thing in my head. Like,
okay.
Because I dealt with it for over 2 years without getting it fixed.
Yeah.
But yeah, I tore my meniscus and I was in bed for a while, and Musically turned into TikTok.
Okay.
So there was like a trend
Damn,
going
that was
around.
a while ago.
Yeah, it was
I forgot
a long
about
time
that.
ago. Yeah. Right when it turned into TikTok, everybody in high school was making TikToks and had groups, and like they were doing dances and all that kind of stuff. And there was a trend where like people would dump water into a sink, and like there'd be a piece of paper in the sink, and it'd be like, and the caption would be like, how my dad spends money on his truck or something like that, you know?
Okay.
And then it'd progressively get worse. Like they pour more water in the sink if like it was like maintenance, and then it'd be like wheels, and they pour a bunch of water in. So I was like,
I've seen that.
yeah,
Actually,
and I thought that was funny. And at the time, I had like, I don't know, a couple $100 in like pennies, nickels, dimes, and quarters, because I never used them. I always like saving them. So I did it with money instead of water. And I did it first time. I got like 600,000 views, and it was like how my girlfriend spends money on stuff. And then I had one that went stupid viral, and it was how schools spend money on sports. And I had like golf, baseball, and then I did football as the last one, and I put like $200 in the sink.
Yeah.
And that got like over 9 million views.
9 million.
And that kind of kickstarted everything. So at the time, I still had the A6. I was working the pizza job. I only did the theme park for like a year. I hated working at the theme park, bro.
What were you doing there?
I was the ride operator. So
you're the guy who like pushes the button before lets people drop and they freak out, or?
Well, I was the one that was doing the roller coaster, so it's even worse because you'd have a group of like 40 people go on the roller coaster,
Yeah.
and then you have to walk by and you're like, "Hey, can I check your seatbelt?" And they made us like physically like pull on the seatbelts, and so it'd be super awkward when the boyfriend would be on the left side and the girlfriend would be on the right side, and I check the girlfriend's seatbelt. It's like, and like they'd make a comment or a remark, and I'm like,
I hate this job.
I just had to deal with it and then press the button. I hated it. So I didn't do that for that long. And then I worked at a moving company and delivered pizzas, and then tore meniscus. And I was like, thought it'd be a good idea to get a car then.
Yeah.
So I took out a loan from a friend, and she gave me like $2,000, and I hated borrowing money. So I worked the delivery job on a crutch. And and then paid her back within like the first 2 months, month and a half.
Yeah.
And then was doing that, doing the TikTok stuff, and got bullied in high school because of it.
You got bullied because of TikTok?
Because everybody else was doing it, and they only had like 1,000 followers, and those 2 videos alone got me up to like 40-50K.
Yeah.
And I started doing like the lip sync stuff. So
So
the cringy like funny ones though.
Yeah.
Not like the thirst trap ones, the funny ones. And I got bullied a little bit in high school. Didn't really care that much. And then senior year rolled around, and I was more worried about getting my stuff done and working a lot. So I kind of dropped everything, but I had a following. And then I did construction for a little bit. So like framing houses and doing landscaping and all that kind of stuff. And also doing the pizza job in the moving company. And yeah, I was doing everything because I really wanted to get an Audi S4, which was like $20,000 instead of like $10,000 on the A6. And once I picked it up, I started modifying it, and I was like, dang, this is expensive. And you take it to a few cars and coffees, and everybody locally sees them, like sees the car. And that's when my friend like Parker Jones and
you knew Parker back then too?
Not back then.
Okay.
But like that's when he was popping off on TikTok. That's when he was like doing it. And so I saw him, I saw a few other people, and then of course like the usual YouTubers, TJ Hunt, Adam LZ, all those guys doing YouTube. And I was like, you know, these guys are like making videos on their cars. That's pretty cool. I didn't realize that they were like making crazy money.
Yeah.
Like Adam LZ and TJ Hunt, yes. But like the TikTokers, no. Because back then TikTok wasn't paying really anything. And I was like, all right, I want to make videos on my car because I'm spending so much money on it, and only the local people have seen it, and they're like kind of over it now. I want more people to see my car, and like I want to show it to more people, you know? So that's how it kind of started, where I grabbed my TikTok that was all this like cringy, like funny videos, and turned it into car stuff.
Okay.
And then when I did that, just snowballed, and still never realized I would make money from it until like maybe 3 years ago. Like I've been doing this since 2019, so that's like 7 years pretty much.
Damn, time flies. It's
and like I would say it was a good only 3 years ago when I did the Christmas lights on my yellow M4. It was
I
the
see-
year. It was the
YouTube
year after
video, the full one, right?
not the YouTube video, the TikTok, because I posted that before the
Okay.
YouTube video.
I saw you had a video on it.
Yeah,
too.
I had a YouTube video on it too. But Alex Choi wrapped a 720 the year before,
Okay.
and then it was like 13 days before Christmas, and nobody was really doing it that next year. And Alex Choi waited until like the day of to post his video, and so nobody else was doing it. I was like, man, that was super cool. Like, I want to try it.
Yeah.
So I did it, and it got like over 16 million views, and I made $8,000 on TikTok.
8K.
Yeah. From
Was
that
it
one
over a
video.
minute though?
Yeah, it was over a minute.
Was that the requirements back then still or no?
Yeah. So
Okay.
at that point, yes.
Okay.
It was like they were paying for
$8
anything.
grand. God
Yeah.
damn, bro.
That was when TikTok paid really good. So TikTok kind of was like a bell curve. It like went no pay, they paid you a little bit, and then it was like crazy.
Yeah.
And now they don't really pay like crazy
Right.
good anymore.
As much as yeah.
Yeah. So that opened my eyes to like, this is my passion. I love doing this. This is fun. And I've been doing it consistently. I could like have this be a career too.
Yeah.
And I've always been taught, and you always see in videos and in other people's YouTube videos, podcasts, all that stuff, that everybody always says, do a job that you love and you'll never work a day in your life. So that was like my like aha moment. And I was like, okay, I'm going to like do this consistently every single day, never miss a day, and also work really hard at my job.
Yeah.
That way I have enough money to fuel these videos, because I wasn't making a ton from videos aside from that one.
Yeah.
And maybe one day I can get out and only do this. And that's how this kind of came to be.
Yeah. It's like that quote, don't only love your job, but job your love.
Yep. Yep. I've heard that one before.
You seen that video?
I haven't
With that
seen
chick,
the video.
there was
but
a
I heard
podcast where the girl was trying to be like motivational.
Yeah.
And she was like, don't only love your job, but job your love. And I was like, it went viral because it was like this.
I've heard someone say it, but I didn't see the actual
yeah,
video.
so now everybody starts making memes about it. and
Yeah.
it's pretty funny. But you said the job thing, I was like, that's pretty interesting.
Yeah.
So at what point, so you got to take some money, of course. The $8,000 is kind of
Mm-hmm.
like what motivated you to kind of take it serious, right?
Well, I was doing it seriously just because it was fun, and
Right.
I'm very competitive. Like, I did track in high school and in college. I've always had this competitive mindset. So for me, it was like, oh, this person I'm following got this many views.
Yeah.
I want to try and make a better video than them, or
okay.
do this better, or do this trend better, or be like the most viewed sound. Like,
Right.
That was always been my mentality.
It sounds too, yeah.
Yeah. So I was like, I'm going to do this and just have fun with it.
Mm-hmm.
And then that just making the money just kind of opened my eyes to like, this is it. I know what to do with my life now. This is the job I want.
Right.
So yeah.
So when you were working, you were a server as well,
Yep.
right? So you mentioned in one of your videos that was probably one of the highest paying jobs you've had.
Yeah. So so when I picked up that job, I kind of moved away from the landscaping, and my dad at the time was a piano player on cruise ships. So he made decent money, but it wasn't like anything crazy.
Yeah.
And he wanted to not do that anymore.
Okay.
So he opened up a piano bar,
Oh, damn.
and because he loves playing piano, and then he thought, oh, I'm just gonna like hire like people I know, because like they'll be cheaper to hire.
Right.
So one of them was me, and legally in where I'm from, you can serve like certain drinks, like but closed. So like I would serve
Okay.
like canned alcoholic beverages, but I can't open them, and I
Okay.
like set them down for people. So I started like getting in like serving really early on, and that built up my resume. So I took that, and his business eventually went down the drain. Like
Yeah,
he had
you
to
mentioned
sell
that
it.
as well. Yeah.
Yeah. So it just didn't pick up a lot of money. He got like a pretty like inexpensive location, and because of that, it didn't get a lot of traffic. So
Okay. And
he
this
ended
is
up-
in Idaho?
yeah.
Okay.
He ended up having to get rid of it. I used that resume stuff to then get to other serving places.
Mm-hmm.
And then I worked at this restaurant called the Floating Green Restaurant, and it's on a golf course on a resort.
Oh, okay. Sounds like
And-
money. Sounds like money.
Yeah. And that didn't really pay crazy. I was still doing delivering pizzas and the moving company.
Okay.
But I had a friend, and he was like, hey, I'm bartending at this like high-end restaurant that's connected to the resort.
Yeah.
I could probably get you in. So I was like, all right. So I got in, instantly quit my dad's job. So I was like, I'm done. I'm not making anything. Like there'd be some nights where we made probably like $10 in tips.
$10 in tips?
Yeah, it wasn't great. It wasn't great.
Damn.
But it was.
I quit the first day after that.
I know, but in my mind, I was like building the resume. If I'm here for over a
Yeah.
year,
So you were thinking
it looks
long term.
good. Yeah.
Right.
So
Smart.
I instantly quit. He wasn't happy about that, but anyway, I quit. I did that, and I was a breader, a host, and like a dishwasher in the bar area.
Okay.
But I moved up really quick because I made friends with the manager, and the manager was about to dip. She was about to quit. So I was like super nice to her and like always picked up shifts and all this. And she's like, you know what? I'm going to move this Jake kid up because I like him. So she moved me up to like server right before she left.
Oh,
and I made $60K my first year, and I was working every day. And
like Monday through Sunday.
yeah. So a
Sheesh.
way I got her, they didn't like me hitting overtime. So what I did was I wouldn't clock in until my first table got sat. And then I would clock in because the money was in the tips. It wasn't in the hourly because we only got paid $3.25 an hour.
That's legal over there?
Yeah. So legally in Idaho,
$3.25.
the minimum wage is $7.25. But legally, if you're a tipped employee, if your claimed tips plus your $3.25 hourly averages out to over $7.25 an hour,
Yeah.
they can do that. So
What?
technically, they could have paid you like $1 an hour if they wanted.
That's crazy. So,
Yeah.
okay. But in that spot, you were making pretty well off tips because of where you were.
So the first year I was making $60K, but I wasn't in like a really good like section. I was serving in the bar. And then the next year I made $98,000 on paper.
On paper.
But then I got cash tips too, which like another
Right.
20 to
So
30.
on paper, that means deposits and so on. And then
Yep.
obviously whatever cash you have.
There was one night I was serving and a guy was with his future wife. It was like the day before their wedding.
Yeah.
And they were like, they ordered a few things. Their tab was like $100, $150. And the guy asked me, he said, what's the biggest tip you ever got? And I said, $500 because at the time I would serve boardrooms with like 30 people.
Oh, so larger
so
group,
$500
right.
it makes sense, right? And after you tip out everybody, you leave with like 300.
Yeah.
So I said $500, and he's like, let's double that tonight. So he's like, but what's your Venmo? I'm not going to put it on paper. And I was like, okay. And I gave him my Venmo, and he sent me $1,000 right there.
What?
That was the kind of place I worked at. So
And that was still like to this day your largest tip, or you had more than
yeah.
that?
That night I left with $2,000.
Damn.
Yeah. Yeah.
2K. Okay.
There's
so you
money
were
in
making
serving.
some money.
There's money in serving.
If you're in the right location. of
If you're in
course.
the right location, yeah. Like you wouldn't be doing that at Denny's, you know what I mean? So
True.
it's
That's true.
just there's just levels, and like I learned that really quick. There's levels to business and jobs.
Yeah.
And I worked my way up.
Now, did you find any of the what you learned from like the relationships, networking, and like working hard that kind of like helped you move into like the content space? Like, how does that apply in the content space for you from what you learned working as a server?
I think everybody should do a customer service job, whether it be
Okay.
serving or working front desk somewhere or anything like that. I think that's very important because before that, I was super quiet.
Oh, okay. So you
Like-
were you shy or
Yeah,
just
shy,
Okay.
quiet, didn't know what to say or how to say it to people. So I just like kind of kept to myself.
Mhm.
But serving like pushed me out of that like comfort zone
Okay.
and made me who I am today. So I feel like that's like the biggest thing. Like if you put me in a group of like 5 other people that also make videos,
Yeah.
like I can, if they say something to me, like I won't force myself into the conversation, but if they say something to me, I can instantly like drum up a conversation with them, ask them how they are, ask them
Right.
what they do and that kind of thing.
So I think that's important too, because with whatever you do, honestly, you have to be able to communicate. If you can't communicate, I mean, some people are really talented where they don't have to, but I feel like in today's day and age, like you kind of have to be able to communicate because a lot of people are on their phones. A lot of people don't even know how to speak to people because the phones are actually taking away attention from actually communicating with people.
Yep.
But the people that excel, I feel like, are the people who know how to communicate and put themselves in situations where they can network and
Yeah.
work their way up.
Yep.
So now with the TikTok stuff, how did you get out of serving to continue to do content? Like you were making $98,000 on paper. That's a lot of money.
Yep.
So you still wanted out of serving?
Not at that time, no.
Okay.
The next year I made 50 or 60,000.
So drop.
And it dropped because I was making more money on social media. So
Okay.
back then I think the longest streak I had was like 32 days in a row at that serving job. And the next year,
Damn. 32 days.
and this was the year after that video went viral and I made $8,000.
Yeah.
I was like, okay, let's try this video. Let's try this video. Let's see if these videos will do better. And I started learning what did good and like how to make a good video and what modifications were interesting and stuff like that. And I started getting into brand deals and learning how to do that.
Okay.
And so it became, I told myself I would never quit my job until it felt like I was wasting my time being there and I could have made more money making videos. So I would make like $300 at the serving job. And then that day on TikTok, it would say 220. And I'm like, I'm not ready to quit yet. And then sometimes I make more, but I didn't quit until I was making more than serving.
Okay.
And also I had a bet with a friend at the time. And I told him, I said, one day I'll be still serving here and I'll have a Lambo. And he said, no, you won't. You'll quit way before then. Because that same thought process, right? Like you're making money on social media, why not quit?
Yeah.
And so I was like, no, I'll stay here until I have a Lambo. And so right after I bought my Huracán, I sent him a photo. I was like, I'm still employed here. And I showed him the picture of the car and he was like super hyped about it. At that time, he didn't work there anymore.
Yeah.
But I wanted to keep my word. And so right after I drove home, the next week, because I didn't want to like quit on them last minute.
Correct.
Because they had shifts that I was scheduled for.
Yeah. So
the week after, I put in my 2 weeks and found people to cover my shifts and I was done. And I drove there in my Lambo. Yeah.
That's crazy.
Yeah. Well, also it's like that job that I was in was like a career job. Like $100,000 is not nothing. You know?
Yeah. No, it's a lot. Yeah.
It's a career job for a lot of the people that serve there too. And like, I didn't want to look like I was like flexing on them or anything by having a Lambo and pulling up to work.
Yeah.
So I felt like I needed to quit. Like if I was there, it just wouldn't make sense.
How old were you when you quit?
If 22, 23. Yeah, 22 or 23
years old with a Lamborghini.
Yep.
So that probably is, I think that's one of your most like viewed videos on YouTube, right? Long form is how you have all your cars at, is it?
Yeah, buying the Huracán was one of my most viewed videos.
Okay. So, which is crazy at your age. Do you think that the age is more, because how I look at YouTube is when people get like R8s or if they get like exotics, the content isn't really relatable anymore. But for you, since you're 23 years old and you have one, it's like, okay, this is interesting. This kid's got money probably, or he's got something going on. It kind of makes you want to watch. If I go buy a Lambo, honestly, I don't think people are going to care because I'm older. Like I'm 35, you know what I'm saying? Do you think that was like a biggest influence?
That I'm younger?
Yeah, that you were younger. With the views?
No,
as far as getting a Lambo.
I mean, look at like, I feel like everybody says his name, but look at Matt Armstrong. Like,
true.
He started YouTube, he was 30.
Didn't he start with the Audi?
Yeah, Audi TT. He started doing YouTube stuff when he was 30, and everybody loves him.
Yeah.
You know, and everybody grow. I think what it is, it's your story and it's how long you've been doing it beforehand.
Okay.
And what your content is beforehand, right? Like you do podcast stuff and all this. It's personal brand, but not the same way I do personal brand.
Yeah.
So like with me, a lot of people have been here from the beginning. Like today, like the last event, Bimmer Invasion 2 days ago.
Yeah.
Everybody came out to me and was like, I've been watching since the Audi. So it's like they've been here for 3 years and then I got the Lambo, you know? So I feel like that's the big thing. It's not necessarily age, it's how long you've been doing it, how consistent, and what your brand is, you know?
Okay. So now what are some things that you can recommend for people who are just starting out with content, right? Obviously, this is what you're doing is kind of like a dream for most people.
Yep.
Everybody wants to be the next TJ Hunt, Adam LZ, and soon the next Jake Schnatter, right? So what do you think that people can take away from what you're saying and also advice technically for them to kind of start content? Like, what do you think is the biggest factor to growth in social media?
Generic one, consistency. Like everybody says that.
I know. There's truth though.
It's true, but it's very like, oh, that's it.
Yeah.
But always wanting to one up yourself every day. You don't want to make the same video. Like if your video is getting 500 views,
yeah,
and the next one gets 500, and the next one gets 400, and they never do better, you're doing something wrong. Like try and fix the lighting, fix how you're talking. You know, be more confident, show your face. Like do stuff that's going to one up the next video. You know. That's another thing. Also, don't rely on people. A lot of people say, "Oh, because I live in the middle of nowhere, bro."
Yeah,
like, there's not many. There's not really people over there.
You got Remy and
Remy and Devin.
Yeah, Devin. Yeah.
But don't rely on other people. So don't think that the only way to make a video is to collab with somebody. That's not how it works. So a lot of people are like, why don't you move to LA or Miami? And I'm like, if I move to LA or Miami, like that doesn't do anything for me. If you can't make a good video on your own, you shouldn't be making videos.
Whew.
That's my opinion.
It's facts. Speaking facts.
Because it's like, if you can't, because that's the thing too, is what if all those people leave? Now you're done.
Yeah.
It doesn't make sense. So in my opinion, if you're going to start out on your own. Don't try and do it with other people and hope that they bring you up. You should just bring yourself up on your own.
Okay. That's honestly solid. I think those two that you just said is probably like the most important. Obviously, once you start, doing content,
yeah, like
it gets more technical.
I hung out with Keller this weekend. We made videos and it was fun.
Yeah.
But I could still make a video without Keller in it.
Right.
That's the difference between like a lot of other people.
Now, you mentioned brand deals before, and me being a podcast and so on. We spoke about this before. And you asked me before, like, are you going to do like a mid-roll ad or whatever? And I was like, nah, dude, like I used to do that, obviously. So I think my biggest issue right now is the fact that I don't really focus on my personal brand. So you have a big personal brand, and that's why you're able to get all this stuff. For some reason, not for some reason, but companies would rather associate themselves with somebody like who has a personal brand because they're probably more likely to buy a t-shirt over just like a podcast that has guests on, because most people are watching for you. They obviously watch because it's a good podcast and the questions and so on, but they're not really here for me all the time. They're here for the guests a lot of the time, right?
Yeah.
So it's kind of hard for a company to be like, hey, like we'll give you, X amount of dollars to promote this as much as somebody who's personal brand. Mm-hmm. So what are some things that you, or some advice that you can give for people who want to start a personal brand or already have it to get those brand deals and make money?
So the first thing is you got to have a way for the brands to contact you.
Okay.
That's like the big thing.
Yeah.
Like you can't expect to get brand deals all the time if you don't have your email in your bio, or you don't have some way for them to contact you, or you're not looking at your DMs all the time.
Yeah.
That's like a big thing. Also like email outreach, learn how to send a good professional email to companies.
Okay.
And show them, like, you can't just hit up a company and be like, hey, I want to promote your brand. Pay me $5,000. You can't say that. You gotta be like,
yeah,
hey, I think you being in my video would work really well. My videos do this much, this many views. This is my demographic. I think my audience would appreciate your stuff.
Yeah.
That kind of thing. That's what lands brand deals.
Okay.
Outreach is a big thing. I don't really do a lot of outreach though.
You did probably early on or no?
No.
Never?
Outreach with like car parts, yes.
Okay.
And that's super easy to land because I make videos on cars.
Yeah.
You know? But right now, like if I get a brand deal, it's usually them emailing me just because I haven't had a lot of time recently to outreach to other companies.
Right.
So
I saw this video on TikTok and it was about a guy exposing Jake Schnatter. And he was talking about how you make your money, how you're buying these cars. There was some comments about like you and your upbringing and your dad having money and so on. And obviously, you said the story, obviously. Yeah. But was there any, way, shape, or form that your father was an influence in terms of like money and helping you push early on?
So
aside from like serving and him having a restaurant, but
that'd be the only thing.
Okay.
Like obviously, obviously, every parent gets their kid a first car. My first car was a Hyundai Sonata. It was $1,200, and he didn't just give it to me. I had them like I mowed lawns for like took care of the yard for a whole year.
Yeah.
And then I got a $1,200 Sonata.
That's how much I paid for my first car too. I had to buy it off my mom. Same thing.
So but every parent does that. And the other thing he did for me is he let me live with him when I was in high school.
Yeah.
Which is another thing every parent does.
Right.
There was no like monetary like help. No.
Okay.
Aside from like hiring me for that restaurant.
Right.
Which built my resume. But that was it.
Do you watch any of these videos on TikTok? Obviously, you're looking at stuff all the time.
Yeah.
So what are your feelings when you see these videos? Do you laugh at them, or has anything like got you upset at all?
In the beginning, sure. I would get like a little like hurt because you always think that like I was talking to my wife about this. I don't make a lot of like controversial videos. Yeah, I'll throw like some stuff in my Camry's windshield.
Yeah.
But like I don't make a lot of controversial stuff that provokes hate,
Okay.
So when people hate on me, at the beginning I was like, bro, I don't make anything like mean or rude. Like, why are you being mean to me?
Yeah.
And that kind of hurt a little bit. But now it's like, it just comes with the territory. So I don't really care.
How do you? But what's the like? What in your head kind of got you over that? Because I deal with the same thing. I get a lot of hate for this podcast because of some of the questions I ask.
Yeah.
But I don't like. Most people aren't going to ask those questions, so I ask them, right?
Mm-hmm.
And those basic questions are what go the most viral, right?
Yeah.
So how do you, in your head, say, you know what? Let me just turn this off. I'm not even going to worry about it. Like, let me just push through it and not even think about it.
Either I'll turn off my phone.
Okay.
Or I don't know I think Parker mentioned this in your podcast, but
That wasn't my podcast. That was the other podcast.
That was their podcast. He mentioned we have we all have group chats.
Yeah.
So like if people are hating on us, we'll send it and be like, look at this dude. Like,
Yeah.
and then we'll just say a bunch of stuff and then it's like over.
Okay, so that's kind of like venting.
Yeah, like
Through,
venting
like,
a little bit. Yeah.
you're making fun of
this is funny. They think I'm like related. They think my dad's Papa John or something like that. like that kind of stuff's just funny. So like we'll joke about it and then it's over.
Yeah. So you understand, obviously, you're in the content space, and obviously as time goes on, you're going to grow more, and
Yeah.
your mindset kind of changes. So it's
Yeah.
probably more mature than when the first time you saw something
Yeah.
to now.
Yeah.
Of course, right? So now, are you posting your content across all platforms?
Yes, that's another thing too. Like going back to your one question of how to start.
Mm-hmm.
Don't start on one.
Okay.
Because you're just gonna like limit yourself. Because TikTok, Instagram, Facebook, one of those platforms could be gone like that.
True.
So you can't allow that. You can't allow yourself to be tied to one platform,
Yeah.
or else everything just could go away for you, and then
Correct.
you're done, and then you have to go find another job again. So I've always focused on posting everywhere.
Okay. Facebook too?
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
I have I think almost 500,000 on Facebook.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
That's a lot.
Yeah.
Honestly, I didn't have a Facebook until the first year of the podcast because I always thought Facebook was outdated.
Mm-hmm.
And then I started realizing that people are actually making money on there.
Yeah.
And then I was like, all right, let me just start posting. But now I get paid on all of them, but YouTube is obviously my main one.
Right.
What's your main source of income as far as all the platforms?
Used to be TikTok.
Okay.
And then it changed ownership, and then they also were pushing TikTok Shop, and
True. You don't do that, right?
No.
Okay.
I did for a second, but it didn't really do much. So used to be TikTok, then RPM went down, and now it's YouTube.
So YouTube is your main.
Mm-hmm.
Is it mostly from long form or combination of shorts and
Long form.
Long
For sure.
form.
Long form for sure.
And was it always like that? Because obviously, like, it takes a while for long form content to actually pick up in views, and it's actually I think it's the hardest type of content to make.
It
is
is.
long
It is
form,
the
yeah.
hardest type. Yeah, it wasn't instant. It took a while. But yeah, I would say YouTube is my main source of income, and also the brand deals are a lot easier to land, and
True.
they pay a lot better, because someone that watches a YouTube video has a lot more up here in terms of like being able to watch a video all the way through.
Correct. Yeah.
So they're able to understand what you're promoting too.
Right.
And they're like, oh, that actually makes sense for me to get.
Mhm.
So brand deals understand that, and they'll like pay you more for a YouTube ad versus a 60-second TikTok.
True. Okay. So let's switch gears a little bit and talk about some car stuff, of course. Obviously,
Yeah.
we'll get back to some TikTok content and money stuff later. But you had the S4. That was pretty much your first content car, right?
Yeah.
Right. So there was some video that you posted about maintenance on it, right? And honestly, Audis are pretty expensive,
Yeah.
of course. I'm not sure if that lasted throughout the whole time of the journey of the car, but what has been your experience with an Audi since you've owned one in the past?
Audis are great cars.
Okay.
They're great cars. They're amazing daily drivers for sure.
Okay.
I loved mine, but everybody always asks me to get another one, and there's no Audi I can confidently say I would want right now. Like with BMWs, like Porsches, like all these other cars, the driving experience with those is way more sporty, way more fun, and they look better. That I would never be able to pick an Audi and be like, that's my one car. I don't know. It's just their design is a little soft, I guess. That's what it
Okay.
is. They're great cars. Don't get me wrong. They're fast. They're honestly reliable.
Yeah.
Maybe some of like the lower tier models aren't, but when you start getting into like the S's and RS's, and you take care of them, change the oil, do the spark plugs, don't treat them like a Camry, you're fine. But there's no Audi I can confidently say I would want, aside from my old one. Like if I got I would get another B8.5 S4, because I think
Okay.
that's one of the best looking ones for its time.
Okay. I
Or
agree too. Yeah.
or an RS7.
No, what about RS6?
RS6s too are cool, but it wouldn't be like the one car. Like I don't think Audi makes a car that like ticks every box like F82 M4.
An F80 over any Audi?
Mm-hmm.
Any of them?
Yeah.
Okay, so what boxes does that car check?
The F82?
Yeah.
It looks sick. It's easy to mod, easy to work on.
Okay.
They're comfortable. Their sound is a little iffy, but if you get the right exhaust setup, they're good. So I think
a tough one. That sound is kind of
yeah. If you do a single mid pipe and catalyst downpipes,
yeah,
they sound good.
It sounds better than obviously stock. Yeah. But
Yeah.
those cars are. I think that's arguably one of the worst sounding BMWs.
Yeah, they are. And they also just they feel really good when you're driving them. They're just all around just.
I guess car. I get so okay. It's kind of hard to compare that to like a R8, right? But
yeah,
when you're talking about
you're talking
lower,
price point. There's also a point where like, okay, an R8's sick, but that's $150,000 car,
right?
Right. An F82, like I picked that car up for $20K.
Cheap. Yeah. But the thing is, like, if you're saying that there's no Audi, obviously the R8 was probably like the Audi that everybody thinks about.
But if I'm looking at an R8, I'm going to get a Huracán.
That's what I'm saying. But is that the closest thing that you can compare to an F80? Because let's take price out of it. Like, if you had an R8 and you had an F80, you'd still take the F80 over the R8.
No. But
Okay.
that's a way different price bracket.
100%.
Yeah.
But then you said Audi overall. I'm thinking like everything.
Yeah.
Obviously, price isn't a factor here in what I'm asking you.
Yeah. I would take the R8 then.
Okay.
Yeah.
So that says a lot about the BMW because anything below the R8.
The Community 2 is nicer.
Then what?
Audi.
Audi's Community is nicer?
No, BMW Community. I like the BMW Community a lot more.
Really?
Yeah.
Okay. Well, honestly, we're here for obviously Bimmer Invasion, and it was great. The energy is great, but from my understanding, like BMW Community was always like toxic.
Like when I was at the event, like everybody's like dapping up everybody. Everybody likes everybody else's cars. You know, I saw maybe 100, 200 like edits during this trip of like people just filming everybody's cars.
Yeah.
I think the BMW community is one of the strongest communities out there.
I think it's changed over the years. I don't think it was like that.
No, it wasn't like that because before, like maybe 5 years ago, it was mainly doctors, lawyers, and kind of people that were older and just kind of like stuck in their ways.
Yeah.
You know? But now I think and also a lot of people that are younger are able to afford these cars because they've depreciated so much.
True.
So
that is very true.
And when you get a car like this, you then realize like how special they are and you take care of them more and you kind of mature a little bit.
Do you think that the F80 is the best BMW for you? Like obviously there's tons of BMWs. We can go on a list of them.
Yeah.
But for you and what you plan on purchasing in the future, like do you feel like this is like the best one you think you'll have?
Yeah. Yeah. And this is the one I'll never get rid of.
Okay.
Like I have a G82 as well.
Right.
But it's fast.
It's still, is it, you restored it or no?
Yeah, I fixed it. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, I bought a crash and I rebuilt it.
Right.
But I have the G82 too, and it doesn't feel like that car does. You know, the G82 is fast. Don't get me wrong, but the way it handles, the way it feels, just feels heavy. This car is it's everything.
Does it feel like kind of numb with the G80? Like, so the older BMWs, I feel like you're more connected to the car, like E92.
Yeah.
Right? You feel like more connected to the car. As they get, like, obviously later in the years, it feels like more numb. Like, you don't feel connected.
Yeah.
Because there's so much, like,
it's the best way to put
electronics,
it.
But
super comfortable, like, kind of big, you know?
Yeah.
So that's how I feel the G82 is, the F82.
Right.
I think this is the best generation. But I have not owned an E92 yet, and I'm about to, so.
Oh, you're gonna buy E92?
That's like the next purchase.
Have you announced that already, or?
No, I haven't found one, but
Okay.
that's like the next one on the vision board. So like I have the vision board of gold cars, and that's like the next car I really want. I want to get E92. It's in manual,
right,
with the carbon roof, and I would like it to be that Melbourne red. So
kind of like Nick's car, sort of. Not the same color, but like
yeah,
similar.
I want to put on TEs and that kind of stuff.
Okay.
Yeah.
And so have you driven one yet?
Yeah, I drove my buddy Nor's. He owns Naughty Auto Parts.
Okay.
So he did a E91. So he converted.
Oh wow.
Yeah, he converted like E90. I think it's E92 engine and threw it in there. And I drove that manual. I like it. The downshifts are fun.
Do you think between those two, what do you think drives better between the two? What did you have more fun in between the E92 and the F80?
I would still say the F80.
Still.
Yeah.
Okay.
Because the F80 has what the E92 doesn't, and that's speed. It's
True.
faster.
But it does sound better.
It does. I
Yeah.
will say that. I don't know if it would sound better in this car though,
What?
because I have the 4N motor in this car now.
Oh, I gotta hear it. I gotta hear it.
Yeah.
The E92 sounds.
The E92
It
sounds sick, but the 4N motor sounds nuts.
It is. It does sound good though.
Yeah.
It does sound good. That's interesting. So now you got the Lambo,
Yeah.
but what was the plan with that? Like, what were you initially intending to do? Was it just a flex, or was it like you plan to build it, do a twin turbo with it?
I've always wanted one.
Okay.
Like I've never got any of my cars to flex.
Okay.
You know, I always view like there's some people make content to flex.
Yeah.
That's not me. I make content as if someone watching my videos would do the same thing. You know, like everybody puts a front lip on their car, everybody
Yeah.
puts a wing on their car. So what I do is what I feel like the normal person would do if they were in the same position as I am with the cars that I have.
Okay.
I don't go stupid over the top unless like that's what everybody wants to see and that's what I want to do. But at the end of the day, like I just really love the Huracán. So I wanted to build one. So
Is that a content strategy though, or are you doing it just because? Because some people, if you build a car, for example, let's say like a Hellcat, right, or a Challenger, the V6 one, like Boosted Lucky, he blew up because he had a car that was super relatable and he did some stuff with it, and then obviously it burnt down and whatever, and then he got a Hellcat. So are you using that same kind of like mentality of you want to build cars that are relatable to people because it'll attract more viewers, or it's just like a only personal thing?
I feel like people watch me because I make videos on stuff that I'm passionate about.
Okay.
The minute I buy a car that only they want to see, but I'm not passionate about, is the minute I think I'll start falling off. Because people can tell in videos when you're not passionate about what you're doing.
Yeah.
And if I bought a C63,
Okay.
I wouldn't be passionate about it. They sound amazing. They're cool cars, but that's not a car I've ever said to myself I really want.
Okay.
So if I got that car and modified it and everything, I wouldn't like it.
Yeah.
So then people would tell, even though people love the car, the people that watch videos love the car, they notice that I am not into it.
Yeah.
And that's kind of like not something I'm down to do.
Okay. That's so you're just staying true to whatever your vision board is and kind of and
what I'm passionate about. Like there's enough cool cars to go around, and
Yeah.
I have a big passion for what I like to do, and so I'll always get the cars that I enjoy.
So the Lambo was one of your dream cars. Of course, you attained it.
Yeah, at the
And
time,
then
yeah.
unfortunately, you crashed the Lambo,
Yep.
and that was like big news for everybody. Everybody was talking
Dude,
about
it was-
that
it
before
was-
it even before you even posted it. People were
It was
talking
big
about
in Germany. Like my one sponsor that like is awesome, Grail. They instantly called me like 20 minutes after it happened. He was like, "Jake, are you okay?" And I'm
Yeah.
like, "Yeah, everybody's okay. Everybody's fine." And like they're like, "Yeah, it's in the news in Germany." And I'm like, "Huh?" It was kind of crazy. It was like everywhere.
Damn. So I know people, that's your dream car, but you're probably in a position now to where like money isn't the biggest factor with that. But since it was your dream car, you probably were kind of hurt by that. I'm not sure if that's how you felt.
Yeah,
or-
like I was definitely hurt a little bit by that. Like
Okay.
it definitely, like it sucks. Like it was probably one of the biggest turning points in my life in terms of like getting that car.
yeah. Was it your first accident?
Yeah.
Damn, in the Lambo, first
Yeah.
accident. That's crazy. Well, the good thing is that you guys are okay. That's the most important thing.
That's the
of course,
most
but-
important part. And like, there's always, like, I probably would never get one again, just because
Really?
I finished it. Like, honestly, I'm genuinely being serious. Like a week before then, I was like thinking, I really want an Aventador. Like, what else is there to do with this car? Like, genuinely, like I wasn't thinking about getting rid of it back then, but I was like, what else should I do to this car? Or is like this chapter kind of over, you know? But I feel like I did everything I could to that car, and the damage on that car was very, very severe.
Yeah.
So those cars have, I like to say, I don't know if this is a technical term, but I like to say that it has a hybrid like chassis.
Okay.
Because it has a carbon tub, but not a full carbon tub like a 720. It's like carbon, and then it merges into like aluminum.
Okay.
So the car has like the standoff frames in the back to hold the engine.
Yeah,
right.
yeah.
And so those frames bolt to the carbon tub, and where the tree hit was perfectly right where everything connects. So when it hit the frame, it pulled the carbon tub apart. So like there's a
separated
big crack
from the aluminum portion. You mean?
No, like the aluminum portion stayed bolted in.
Okay.
But there's like a big crack by the passenger door.
Okay.
And the quarter panel.
Yeah.
And it's because the tree hit there and like pulled it back. So like
Damn.
that car needs like
Too much.
way too much. Way
you
too.
think Matt Armstrong could buy that and fix it or not?
I actually sent him photos, and I was because I would rather me fix it than him.
True.
Right. And I think he feels the same way.
Yeah.
I sent it to him. He's like, bro, like that car's like toast.
Oh,
Because-
he said it's done.
Because every
Damn.
single panel's destroyed.
Yeah.
Every single panel's destroyed. The carbon tub's destroyed.
Hmm.
If you're rebuilding that car, you're not rebuilding it. You're just building a car from scratch.
Yeah.
You know, like the Porsche he rebuilt, that's towing the line of mine.
Adam's
But
Porsche?
yeah,
Is it
Matt
Adam?
Armstrong's the 3RS that went in the water.
Oh, I thought it was Adam LZ's Porsche. The one that.
No. That
okay.
one was pretty bad too.
Yeah.
But mine, you'd literally just be putting a motor into a different car
Okay.
at that point.
Right.
So
No, 100%.
it's not worth it.
Now, with that car, I didn't ask you this before, but was that like, did you pay for that car cash or what was the deal
No,
with that?
so I like buying all my cars in cash.
Okay.
But the Huracán, kind of like what Stratman did with his Koenigsegg, the Huracán you can do
the
lease.
thing. Yeah.
So you can do lease to own. So with that, you still put equity into the car,
Okay.
but you get to write off every single payment because it's for the business.
Full payment or half?
Full.
Nice.
So you write off payment, insurance, all that. So that's
Okay.
what I did. I just thought that was the best financial move for me to be able to write off the car fully. I can write off my cars to an extent, but it's way easier to write off the Huracan that way because it's a lease. Just
Correct.
The IRS understands it better.
Yeah.
What we do is still almost like new territory for the IRS, even to this day, even though it's been around for like 10, 12 years.
Yeah. They
So
still don't understand.
They still
right?
don't understand. I'm sure they will eventually, but for now, it made more sense for the supercars to do it that way.
Yeah.
That's what I did with the F12 too.
So what were the payments on something like that, like a Lambo? How much was the car?
So the car was 196,000,
Okay.
and I put down 40.
Okay.
But within that 40, it was the first payment, last payment, the lease startup fee,
Oh, man,
and
they got other fees associated and stuff like that.
all that sales tax startup, all that kind of stuff. So at the end of it, it was only probably like 20K in equity.
Okay.
But
That you had.
yeah, 20, 25, maybe 30. I don't know.
Yeah.
But yeah. So it wasn't that hard to do.
As far as what?
Get in the car.
Oh,
Like,
okay.
To get approved for it. They even like also it's super easy to get approved for a car like that. With just bank statements, like proof that you get enough
Yeah.
money coming in versus money coming out. Like
Kind
they
of
said,
like an entrepreneur kind of loan.
yeah, they were like
Yeah.
as long as you have at least 6 months payments in your bank account and you have more coming in than what the lease payment is,
Yeah.
you're gonna get approved. And I was like, okay. And if you have a good credit score. At the time I had a 750, now I have over 800, but it was
Okay.
like super easy.
So as long as you got all your stuff in order, you can definitely go out there. If you're making money, of course, you
Yeah.
can be able to show that you're making money into your account. Then
Yeah.
you can.
Now there are
be
some
in a
sketchy leasing companies that like will toe the line because they don't care, because at the end of the day they can just repo the car.
Yeah.
And a lot of people that like get a taste of money and everything, they'll get an SVJ and then 2 months later it gets repoed because they stopped making 40K a month.
Oh damn! So
Yeah.
if you have to keep.
So
the
like there's
incomes
good
going.
leasing companies or bad ones. I feel like I
Okay.
have one of the gooder ones. So
And on one night, so with that money that you put down and everything, what was the monthly payment for it?
3,200, I think.
3,200. Okay.
Yeah.
So right around anything in that territory of how much it costs is like $3,000 roughly from 100 plus actually.
Yep.
Damn. So 3,000. That's a lot of money, man.
Mm-hmm.
Like that's a mortgage. Well, depending on how much the house is, but
Yeah.
in today's day and age, like that's pretty
Yeah,
much
my
like a
mortgage is 4,000.
Really?
Yeah.
Even in Idaho?
Yeah. My house was $600,000. And then I did FHAs and I did like only 20K down. So I did less than 20%. So there's like mortgage insurance and a bunch of stuff on that. I kind of shot myself in the foot, but at the time I needed to get a house.
You did 20% down?
No, I didn't. I did 20K down.
Oh, okay. So, okay.
Yeah.
I was to say, wait, what?
Yeah, I did 20K down.
Okay. So you didn't really put that much money up front.
Mm-mm.
Okay. Yeah, because it's
It'd be like
FHA is like
120.
3.5%. I think
Yeah.
minimum you can put down.
Yeah, it was like 20, 30K.
Damn. Well, but you have a probably
Well,
large
the reason
property and everything.
the reason I bought the house was because I told myself I wouldn't marry my wife until I had a place to like support her. So I wanted to have a house before I married her. So, and I knew like after the third date that I was going to marry this girl.
Yeah.
So right after that, I started looking at houses, and then I found the perfect one with the shop, everything, and I bought it.
And you know my girl right here, right? Yeah. We ain't getting no, I don't know about the house part. I don't know about the house part though. We still gonna be paying rent. No, I'm playing. That's dope though. That's dope. So now you mentioned earlier that you had these tires on the car and you obviously crashed a Lambo.
Yeah.
Sad, unfortunately. But the Dodge Viper is another car that's notorious for
The older ones.
The older ones, right?
So the newer ones are really, really good actually.
Mm-hmm.
So like the traction control on the Viper is actually very good. Now, obviously, there's losing traction when you don't know you're going to lose traction, and there's losing traction when you're ready for it. With the Viper, when I'm getting into it, I'm like, I'm ready for it to kick out.
Yeah.
And I've done it with traction control off and traction control on. Traction control off, it burns them. Traction control on, it actually keeps you fairly straight. It's actually very, very good traction control. Yeah.
So Calvo mentioned on the podcast, one of the podcasts he did, that the reason why the people used to crash them back in the day was because those cars are older and they buy them and they never change the tires. So the tires that are on there are dry rotted and so on.
Yeah,
so,
low mile cars. Yeah.
Right. So then when these people buy these cars that have been sitting in the garage, the dry rotted tires, then they go out and do hits. They're doing hits on 20-year-old tires. It's just like that haven't been changed.
Mm-hmm.
So with the Viper, obviously you said the newer ones are better, but there's still people that don't keep that in they don't take that into consideration that they should probably change their tires.
Yeah, just because it's a low mile car doesn't mean you have to skimp out on maintenance.
100%.
Yeah.
Now I spoke to Calvo at TX2K this year. I never actually spoke to him until this year.
He's really cool.
He's a really cool dude. I was kind of scared because his area is like roped off, but I went into the area with Titan. Nero actually walked me over and introduced me. And we were talking for a while, and the guy that actually sold you the Viper was there too.
Luke. Yeah.
So I was asking questions about it and kind of trying to figure out how much it costs to actually own one. Because obviously, Quiet has one as well.
Yeah.
And he was telling me that the kits on it to style it, like the wing, the front lip, all that stuff is like $20,000 or something like that.
Mm-hmm.
Some crazy
The Aero.
amount.
Yeah.
The Aero, correct. So do you have the Aero or are you
So mine has
on-
the like the APR wing, not the ACR wing. So
Okay.
It's a little bit smaller of a wing, but it's still Aero.
Is it the aftermarket one?
Yep.
Okay.
Yep.
Yeah.
Mine has the canards in the front lip. Just recently put on the rear diffuser blades.
Mm-hmm.
I would say my car doesn't have that much into it for the Aero. I would say
Really?
mine only has probably like 5K in Aero.
Really? 5K?
Yeah. Like the front lip was, I didn't put those on, but the front
okay.
lip was like $1,000 front lip. The
Yeah.
wing was like $3,500, and then the rear diffuser pieces and the canards were probably another $1,000.
So what are the goals for the Viper? Because that's one of my dream cars, honestly. I'd probably take a Viper over an R8 any day.
The Viper like mogs almost any car, bro. Like it's crazy,
Yeah.
like how many people love that thing. I didn't think it. I've always loved
It's a
that
head
car,
turner, bro.
but I didn't know that like other people loved it like 30 times more than I did. Like it's crazy. Like that car in Monterey Car Week, like there'd be a Bugatti and LaFerrari and then the Viper, and everybody would like ignore those cars and walk
Yeah,
up to
man.
the Viper.
It's an
It was
attention-
insane.
It's an attention seeker.
Yeah, it was insane. So my plans with that car is the twin turbo it for
Okay.
sure.
Calvo?
Yes, most likely. Most likely. I got quoted 150.
To turbo it?
That's the thing. A lot of people don't realize how expensive it is.
That's what I was talking to Calvo. I'm like, damn, like I
It's
don't know
not
if I
just a
want
turbo.
this.
It's not just a turbo kit. It's not a turbo kit and some piping. It's like legit. They're building a new car. That's what it is.
So if you buy one for, what are they going for now? Like 170?
So that's the thing.
Okay.
That's where I learned like the trick. So if you're planning on buying a Viper to twin turbo, don't get a low mile one and spend 140 G's, because there's no point.
Okay.
Because everybody gets one and they instantly want to make 1,300, 1,500. And that's honestly like one of the lowest package that like majority of these companies like promote.
Offer. Yeah.
So don't do that because you're spending 140K. Now, because most likely you're going to end up building the motor, you're going to end up doing all this stuff, pulling the motor, doing the rod bearings, doing all this stuff. Just buy a Viper with miles. So I bought I think it's the highest mileage Viper for the Gen 5s in like the world. So mine has 75,000 miles.
Damn, that's not even a lot of miles though.
No, but for Vipers, that's a ton. So, and the thing is like Calvo won't even twin turbo that car because like of the motor. But I was like, in my mind, the build that we would have to do to that motor is what anybody else would do to a car that has 20,000 miles and they spent 140K on.
Yeah.
But I spent 90.
So you spent 90.
I got that car I got that car for 90K.
Was he selling it on the marketplace already? Or
So he threw it out in the forums and for 90K.
And nobody offered? Nobody like said, yo, I'm gonna buy this?
Well, someone did, but the car had some issues. The car was misfiring and the car needed a new clutch. The new clutch was $4,500 and the misfire was a hit or miss. It could be the coil packs, but it could be like a rod bearings about going out, you know? So like there was always a risk. So they didn't know that and they were gonna take it for 90.
Yeah.
But I'm sure if he told them there was the issues too, they wouldn't have took it for 90. But I was like, I'm gonna take the risk. You're my friend, and I think the car should stay in the group. So I bought it.
Okay. So how much are you into that car now? Total.
Probably 95.
95. And is there any more future mods that you're gonna keep,
Yeah, so coilovers, I bought those for 4K.
Okay. It's not bad.
No, they're not bad. They're worth like 10 to 12.
Oh, so are they used or?
No, they're brand new, but he never put them on.
Okay.
So I bought them off of him. So the previous owner. Luke.
Oh, okay. So you bought them. Okay, got you.
I paid 3, I think. I think I paid 3K for him. So I got a good deal. But I had to put a lot of money into the car. So he kind of justified giving me a good deal on the coilovers.
Yeah.
So so I guess 98K. Future plans to throw the coilovers on, wheels, and like PPF, tint, all that stuff. Basically make it perfect aesthetically.
Yeah. And
then next year twin turbo it. Because 150K is several cars.
Yeah.
You know? So that's gonna be like on the vision board as like its own thing.
Yeah.
So my goal next year is to buy less cars, but do more stuff to the current cars.
Got you. Okay. Yeah. The Viper kind of went out the window like when I started talking to Calvo. And I was like, this is on my background for my computer. And I went there and like, yeah, let me see how much these cars really are. And when he started telling me stuff, I'm like, damn, bro, it's kind of like not even, it's worth it, but it's almost
better
not.
to buy one that's already finished.
Yeah, but then how much you going to spend $250 on it? Like,
yep, exactly.
And at $250, you're getting into like the category of like,
and good luck getting a loan for a car that gets appraised for $150 and they want $250.
Right.
You're gonna have to put 100.
Exactly.
Yeah,
unless you do like for that kind of money, I don't even know what you could do.
Because mods on those cars like the twin turbo kits add value.
Yeah.
But to a bank, mods don't add value. So they look at that Viper and say it's worth 130. And you're like, but it has a twin turbo kit. And they're like, we don't care. You won't get a loan. You won't get a loan for $250. Yeah.
That's crazy. So the goals for the future are to get the turbo kit, right? From Calvo. You go with Calvo.
Calvo or Nth Moto. One of the two.
Okay. So in order to achieve some of these goals, right? You now I don't know if this is true, but giveaways are a big factor of how much you're making now.
Yeah.
Right? So what made you get into giveaways? I know right now there's some controversy around every car influencer doing giveaways, right? Mm-hmm. So did you feel like, you were going to jump on the bandwagon, or did you have a different vision for it?
So I've always had like kind of like this vision of don't sell out, So like, I never do gambling promos.
Okay.
I'm not going to say the names of the companies because that's technically a promo. So I'm not going to do that. But so I never do that kind of stuff. And Remy actually introduced me to the giveaway stuff.
Okay.
So I always thought that Remy was kind of a sellout for it. I was like, Remy, like, why are you giving away your car? And he's like, and then he explained it to me.
Okay.
So I care about my personal brand a lot, like my merch and everything. Like I don't want to do like really cheap, like paper thin t-shirts and all that kind of stuff. I wanted to have nice merch on my websites, and I've always cared about that. So, and Remy does too. Mm-hmm. So Remy was like, look, it gets the brand out there. people are gonna buy the shirt whether you give away a car or you don't, because they're your fans. They love you. They love what you're doing. They want support. He's like, I don't raise my prices because a lot of these companies, they'll sell a hoodie for $100, $120 because they're giving away a car.
Right.
But that hoodie, realistically, if they weren't giving away a car, they'd sell it for $80.
Right. Correct.
So Remy's like, I don't raise my prices, whether it's a giveaway or not. He's like, I always stay true to my brand. I always get good stuff. And at the end of the day, it's great content, and someone is blessed with a car that they probably couldn't have justified otherwise.
Yeah.
So it's basically like icing on the cake, if it happens or not, for the person that gets the merch.
Right.
And when he explained it to me like that, I was like, that makes more sense. You're not trying to be evil and just like force people to get. That's the other thing too, is he doesn't force people. He literally just, hey, I'm giving away this car. If you're going to get the merch, you could get a car too. If you don't want to get the merch, I'm not putting a gun to your head and making you try to get it.
Right. So you're getting 2-for-1 kind of deal.
Yeah,
you're buying the merch, supporting, and then you also get a chance to win a car.
It's like the McDonald's Monopoly thing, like when
sort of.
Kind of.
Yeah, I get you.
Yeah.
You're already buying the food you want, and you get a chance to win whatever kind of money it is.
Yeah, exactly. So that was the kind of the concept. And also he said, bro, we have a huge following now. It's like, that's not a bad thing, and we're blessed with it, but at the same time, good luck selling a car on Marketplace and them actually be serious about the car and not just wanting you to reply.
Lowball you and everything.
Well,
too.
like when I was selling my Audi S4, I had like a fraction of what I have now.
Yeah.
And everybody was like, they'd lowball me, or they'd message me to mess with me, or they'd message me and be like, hey, I'm interested in the car. I'm like, okay, cool. Like, what do you want? Like, do you want to look at the car? And then they'd look at the car and be like, oh, I just wanted to meet you, bro. So it's like, it's way easier to let go of a car this way.
True.
Than deal with the hassle of trying to sell it.
Correct. That's actually fair. That's probably the best way that a car influencer could kind of explain it. Because if not, everybody sees it as like, you're just doing what everyone else is doing. Everyone's just selling stuff, just trying to give away cars. And a lot of people don't even believe that people win the cars. But I mean.
Well, that's the thing. So that was one thing that Remy and I talked about. It's funny that people are like, oh, we probably gave it to a friend, because they're expecting someone to be somewhat known to win the car.
Yeah.
Okay. But now if they're known and have a following, that looks sketchy too, doesn't it?
It does.
It's like they're going to real people. That's why you don't know who they are.
Yeah. True.
I think the people that are the naysayers and saying that it's a scam. There's also like, if I rigged it, like, and I gave it to a friend, where's the benefit in that for me? There's none, Like,
I guess maybe that he could probably, you could still sell it off
right,
market.
but he wouldn't give me the money for it, would he?
Sure, that's true. Yeah.
It makes no sense.
Yeah.
And also like our brands are so big. Like, are we really going to jeopardize
it's a huge liability.
Are we really going to jeopardize that over a
100%.
$40,000 car?
Yeah.
That makes zero
You got too many
sense.
eyes on you at that point to even try to do that.
And it's super fun to give a car to a stranger.
Yeah.
I
haven't done it yet. I in the future I definitely would want to, but
it's one of the best feelings.
Yeah.
It's one of the best feelings. My last winter, he bought into every giveaway, and I asked him why. He's like, bro, I like your merch. It feels good, and I don't need to go to Ross anymore to buy clothes. I just buy it on your site and I just wear it. And I was like, okay. And he's like, and also I could win a car.
Yeah.
And then he won. He bought into every single one. He spent like $800 in the last year.
And he actually won.
And he won my M3.
Damn, I'm about to start entering those things, man.
Yeah, isn't that crazy?
I've entered a few giveaways, haven't had any luck. I only enter if it's a car that's like, nah, I really, really want that. But honestly, like, I don't know. It's got to come across my feed and be like, all right, this is the car I want. It's usually like GTRs, like R34s.
Yeah, something that you like.
Yeah,
a lot,
maybe it's never really Mark IV Supers, but if it's like really clean, I'll do that. But there's so many giveaways now that, you have the option of
everything. It's almost like shopping for a car, right?
Yeah, literally. You know, you spend, $5 or $10, whatever, you get a chance to win a car. It's pretty cool.
Yeah.
It's a pretty cool concept. But people just get they're seeing it a lot. So I just see social media people.
And there's some people there's the issue, I think, is it's not everybody is coming at it the same way.
Yeah.
Remy, me, Devin, C-Boys, like all these people go at it.
Yeah.
There's legit companies that their whole thing is just the giveaway stuff.
The giveaways, yeah.
And the way they do their ads, I understand it does leave a little bit of sour taste in your mouth,
right.
a little bit. But at the end of the day, sadly, that's just how the world is.
Yeah. So we're here for Bimmer Invasion. I forgot to mention that before. Corey, huge shout out to Corey, the guys over at Bimmer Invasion, for allowing us to be here and do this and hosting, the place for us to be able to film. What were your thoughts on Bimmer Invasion?
It was awesome. It was hectic. My wife and I were holding down the fort at the booth. Unfortunately, I didn't really get to go around and look at a lot of the stuff.
Yeah.
But it's okay because I got to show off this car at the booth and I got to meet everybody that watched the videos. Like, we had a line
I saw, yeah.
so far for like, I don't know, 7-8 hours. It was crazy.
Yeah.
And like so many pictures, so many people grabbing the merch and like rocking it, and it was cool.
I had to sneak in a couple times to get your attention. I feel bad because like if you're about to take a photo with somebody, I like jump in there and I'm like, yo man, like, can we set up the podcast or whatever?
Yeah.
But I saw how hectic it was at your booth. That's great. It's great.
Yeah, it's a really cool feeling. There's levels to like content and like where you are in life with it and the timeline wise. And right now I need to get my content before the show starts.
Yeah.
Because during the show, I have to give my time. I have to give my time to everybody that watches the videos.
Yeah.
Because I want to meet them, they want to meet me, and that's why I'm here.
Right. Right. So you just got a F12 Ferrari, right?
Yeah.
Which is another supercar purchase. You kind of, at this point, it almost feels like you kind of have to have a supercar in your fleet because you had a Lambo, and I don't know if a Viper is considered a supercar. I think it's a supercar, but a Ferrari is technically an exotic, I would say, right?
Yeah, the Ferrari, and then I also got the 600 LT.
Okay. So you got the F12. Why did you go with the F12 over an A12?
I think there's a lot of value in the F12s.
Okay.
I think the F12s have bottomed out and they're only going up now.
Okay.
Because Ferrari is not making an NAV12 anymore. So I think that was the big thing. I think the F12 looks better than the A12.
Okay. What about it exactly do you feel is
the aggressive front hood? So the aggressive hood has like a GTS style hood, kind of like the F82.
Yeah.
It has that vent. It has just that iconic like front engine V12 Ferrari.
Yeah.
It looks really freaking good. The only thing I think the A12 has a beat on is the rear end. I think the rear end on the A12 is a lot more modern. But I like the F12's rear a lot because it has the F1 rain light at the bottom.
Okay.
Yeah, kind of like the LaFerraris.
Yeah. So price wise, what are those going for, and what can you pick them up for compared to like a A12?
So at the time, I got mine for $256,000.
$256.
Yep.
Damn. Okay.
But
that's
now
up there. I didn't know it was out there.
They're climbing though. Like,
okay.
I think now they're going for $270, $280, like with my miles and my spec. So it's pretty crazy. They're just going up. A12s, when I looked, they were anywhere from low 300s to 400s.
Okay. So what made you in that price range, right? What made you want to go with it? Aside from the design, like, did you feel like you would have had any benefits to going with the A12 over the F12?
The A12 is more mass produced than the F12. They made more A12s than F12s.
Right.
So in my mind as well, I felt like if I was going to lose money on either car, it would have been the A12, not the F12. I feel like I would have lost more money on the A12 at the time than the F12 because I felt like
even if you kept the car for a couple years.
That's the thing though, is the build plan that I have for the F12. I don't know how long I'll keep it or not.
Okay. So what is the plan for?
So I already did a straight pipe.
Okay.
I got lowering springs for it. I got all the carbon bits coming for it.
Okay.
And I really want to get the carbon bucket seats for it.
Carbon bucket seats.
Yeah, so they came factory. They have the Daytona seats that are like more the comfort design, and then they have the bucket seats that are a little bit more race oriented. You see them a lot in the 296s.
Okay.
But that's what I really want in that car. But it's really hard to find a set of OEM ones.
Does Novatech make parts for that car too?
So Novatech has the crazy N-Largo kit, obviously. That's the one that like everybody loves.
Yeah.
And the sad part is the N-Largo is a limited run body kit that they make. So for the F12, I believe they only made 10. And for the A12, I think they made 15 to 20.
Okay.
So if you're going to get an N-Largo kit, it's going to be a replica. It won't be
the
a real one.
Real one, right.
Yeah. So I got Novatech springs, but not a body
What do those
kit.
kits go for?
Back in the day, I could not tell you. But I know that now if there was a Novatech, like an N-Largo F12 for sale, it would probably be Probably in the mid threes to
that's still
400.
not bad though.
Mid threes to 400. Yeah.
Yeah, that's still not bad. But
But-
they make it
But like we were talking about earlier, no bank is going to add value to that.
true just because it's
Just because
correct.
that's a body kit.
Correct. Now, do they make an exhaust, a Novatec exhaust for your car?
Yes, they do.
Okay. Is
But-
this the same thing or no? Like
Grail.
do parts interchange between the F12 and
Oh, F12 and A12?
yeah.
So Grail has an A12 Superfast.
Okay.
And that's what got me in love with the Ferrari V12s.
Yeah.
And their A12 Superfast was amazing. Drove it in the Alps. It was awesome.
Yeah.
So he made the kit for my F12, the exhaust, and a lot of it is very similar. The downpipes are very similar. I wouldn't say they're perfect,
Identical, but
identical,
yeah.
but they're very freaking close.
Okay. And in sound, it's like pretty much the same thing?
No,
or? No, it's
different.
not. Okay.
The F12 has a little bit more smoother and deeper of a pitch.
Okay.
The A12 screams a little bit more.
Is it because of the exhaust design or?
So the A12 and the F12 actually have different displacements. So the A12 is a 6.5 liter V12.
Okay.
The F12 is a 6.3 liter V12.
So it's a little bit.
So
larger
I think
displacement.
there's something they did with either the pistons, rods, the head, because it's still the same base motor.
Right.
It's just they did certain things to it to make it higher displacement.
Okay. So do you think which one sounds more refined though?
I would say the F12.
The F12.
The A12 is like
Rowdy.
scary and like screams.
Yeah.
The F12 is like pure, I don't know how to describe it.
Which one does DDE have?
They have an F12.
They have an F12.
Yep.
Okay. That's still a pretty sick car then.
Yeah, it's an amazing
Yeah.
car. Everybody thinks it's an A12 too. That's the other reason why I got it. I'm like everybody thinks my Viper's an ACR. There's a point where like
True.
when you get a certain car, like nobody really cares if it's this trim level or this trim level.
Right.
It's still sick.
Yeah.
So that's the other
Especially with the Viper, like if you have a GTS or if you have like an ACR, like
thing. SRT, GT,
SRT,
time
whatever
attack,
it is,
doesn't matter.
Doesn't really matter. It's still a Viper at the end of the day.
Yeah.
And it's still the same, pretty much components of drivetrain and so on.
Exactly.
So-
And also with content, sadly, I can't afford to buy every single car at the highest trim level possible.
Mm-hmm.
Or else I would only have 2 cars instead of 15.
Yeah.
so I do have to pick and choose my battles and be like, all right, this makes the most sense, and this is also equally going to be as enjoyable as this.
Right. Now, are you modding that car based off of like, because Ferrari has this thing where you can't do certain things with their cars.
So that's all fake, I feel like.
Okay. So explain.
So Ferrari, they obviously will not take my car into the dealership to do a service on. It's catless downpipe,
Okay.
and an exhaust and lowered, and they didn't do the work on the car. So they aren't going to do that just for liability reasons.
Right.
You won't get sued for that. What you'll get, not necessarily sued for, but cease and says, hey, stop it or else we will go after you,
Okay.
is when someone calls a car something, it calls an F12 something isn't. Like if I create a different name for it and changed out the badges and did a bunch
okay.
of stuff and tried defacing like the Ferrari logo in
Right.
any way, that hurts their brand. So they need to come after you.
Okay.
They're like, hey, stop this. You're making our brand something it isn't about.
Okay.
Right. But you can still modify them. That doesn't hurt anything.
So what about like the outside? Can you wrap them certain colors and do crazy things with them or no?
Yeah, just don't mess with the logos.
Okay. So as long as you're not messing with the logos, you believe that's how it works.
Yeah. Or like having like I feel like there's probably like some certain things you don't want to say on the wrap. Like, I don't know. There's probably like something that like they probably wouldn't like,
Yeah.
but still, I don't think Ferrari would necessarily send you a cease and desist for trying to make it look like the 296 race car or whatever it is.
Right. A lot of celebrities really, it's there's like this clip I saw where they like listed the celebrities that gotten cease and desist from Ferrari. And I think Justin Bieber was on there. I don't know what he had done to his car. I don't know if it's true, but
I don't think he might have.
Mhm.
I'm pretty sure he just did a wide body kit and wrapped it blue.
oh, he did do. That's right. He had the what? Was it a? Yeah, exactly.
I think it was a Liberty Walk kit or
Correct.
a GT3 kit.
Correct, yeah.
But still, I don't know the details on that one, but I know the
Right.
details on the DJ Deadmau5.
Yeah.
Yeah, he called his car a Ferrari, and he changed all the logos to
okay.
be like some sort of like girly horse thing. It was
Yeah.
weird. So that is when they were like, hey, and that was also older Ferrari. That
Right.
was like 10 years ago, 12 years ago. Now with more on the
online
streets and more being sold private party, they have less control over the brand. So they can't really nitpick too hard.
It's a little bit different time and age for sure.
Yeah.
So how much do you plan on spending on this car? Roughly, like you have a budget for your cars or?
No, I don't have a budget.
Okay. So you just go.
It's a vision. I have a vision and the budget is workable, because
there's no budget.
There is no budget.
Blank check.
It's just time.
Okay.
So obviously the Viper, for example, I'm not going to drop 150K right now.
Right.
Right. That's the one thing with doing content, social media stuff. On paper, I don't make much because when you have your own business, you have to dance around zero a lot. You have to spend, you have to spend money on the business. And that's the other thing, like that bad persona about the giveaway stuff again. I'm not spending the money on super luxurious stuff or buying
designer stuff
designer and all that stuff. I've worn these clothes twice this weekend.
Car guy.
It doesn't.
I get it, bro.
It's all goes back into the cars to bring content to people that honestly participate in the giveaway.
Yeah.
So everything that I do is I spend money a lot on the business.
Mm-hmm.
So with that, when there is a crazy build I want to do, that is 150K like the Viper.
You're ready to go.
I have to push it. I have to push it aside and wait until that money's ready.
Right.
And then I can do that because I want the business to also stay afloat and not go bankrupt.
100%. 100%. And that's the thing that you kind of probably got from early on too. I don't know if you got a business mindset from your, early years of working as a server or anything like that.
No, it's literally just learned along the way.
Okay.
Yeah.
So if you do content, do you recommend getting an LLC?
Yeah.
Or you just do everything personal?
Do content. Once you start making money, make an LLC.
That way you can leverage and kind of,
Yeah, there's no point if you're not making money. For the first year, I only made 30K, 20K.
Mm-hmm.
I was a private contractor or I forget what the term was, but I just did 1099s.
Yeah.
And then the next year I did LLC.
Okay.
So there's definitely levels. I think it's based off of how much money you're making.
Right. 100%.
But also, if you have an LLC, it is nice to write off what you're doing for your business if it is making zero.
Correct.
And you can write that off towards, you can take a loss. And I think that helps you for the money you are making from your other job, I believe. So I guess, yes, it'd probably be smart to do an LLC. And also it does eliminate a lot more liability on you, more the business, right?
Right. So
if you're doing something for the business, they come after the LLC, not you.
Correct. It's separate from your personal.
Yep.
Right. So that $8,000 you made that big in the beginning.
That was 1099.
Right.
Yep.
So, but because you were already kind of making money, even if it wasn't $100,000 a year or whatever, obviously you want to make sure that you can kind of maximize and capitalize on.
Yeah, because even as a private contractor, you still write off stuff.
True. Yep. 100%. So I do want to say I appreciate your time, man. I know it was kind of a hectic, time last night trying to figure out schedules and coordinate.
I want to make it work. This has been one of my dreams to be on this podcast.
Come on, man.
I'm being honest.
Don't you
gassing. Back when I had 200,000 followers, I would see your podcast clips and I'd be like, one day I'm going to be on that thing. And then it was today. So
damn, I'm flattered.
Yeah.
I am genuinely flattered. Thank you, man. I appreciate that.
Yeah.
Well, I'm obviously you're here, and I'm not looking at it as yo, you're on my podcast. I'm excited to have you as a guest.
Yeah.
And I'm really happy that, from the last time I saw you to now, that you've grown exponentially. So it's congratulations, of course.
Thank you.
Happy for you. Proud of you. And keep going, of course. You have the right mindset. And I know you'll definitely get to 1 million subs pretty soon.
I hope so.
Sooner than later.
Yeah.
So for the people who don't know, or obviously they know who you are after the podcast, but if they don't follow you, where can they follow you? Where can they find your content on social media?
Jake Schnatter.
Everywhere.
Everywhere. You search that, you'll find me.
Okay. And then if you want to enter your giveaways, how do they?
Go to schnatterdays.com.
There you guys have it. Thank you so much, Jake. Appreciate your time. If you guys are listening and watching, continue to keep listening and watching. Make sure you guys head over to streetalpha.co to copy your merch and get you on the next one. Peace.
See ya.